Listen, we're here this evening in Dublin, 20th of May 2016, an auspicious year for a number of reasons. But Eric Johnson is here with us this evening, and Eric is a nephew of the late John Mayne, and I thought it would be very interesting to ask Eric if he could recount some of his personal recollections of his experience of his uncle. I know that John Mayne, Douglas was also John Mayne, Douglas Mayne, was very close to his sister Yvonne, that's Eric's mother, and was very close to the family generally. Eric, I leave it to you, sir.
Right,
anything you'd like to tell us, or not tell us?
Okay. Well, I'll just recount an anecdote about himself and his cousin, Father Paddy Crane, who was parish priest in Donnybrook. They were two big, strong men, and they liked to go walking when the weather was good up on the Wicklow Mountains and the military road, as local people call it. And while they were up there, of course, they'd be talking about religion. They were both interested in religion, obviously. And Father John would come back and say, the trouble with Father Paddy is he's got the minute stamp. Now, what is the minute stamp?
Good question.
Handing it back to you now.
Good question. Good question. Maybe, I don't know. I don't want to say. I'm sure there were some excellent things about Maynooth as well, but perhaps it was a little narrow, perhaps in its perspective on things, and maybe that was Douglas's experience. Perhaps was certainly a broader one. You know, his experience of being raised in the UK, I think, would have given him a much broader dimension.
That's right.
And you know, the UK is not a homogeneous society. I mean, Ireland it was at that time, and had a very, very set and sort of narrow approach to a lot of things. And
another thing he did say, if he was brought up in Ireland, he would have lost his religion.
You know, isn't it very interesting?
Yes,
isn't it very interesting?
Yeah.
But at the same time, if he hadn't that Irish background and that Irish dimension, everything that went to form him and create him wouldn't have been there.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's a paradox. It is an extraordinary paradox, like so many things. He was very fond of paradoxes, wasn't he?
Yes. Oh, yeah.
You know, the truth of a situation doesn't reside in either the left or the right. You know, it's in the middle where you meet these two equal and opposite truths. It's a kind of a fulcrum, a fine point.
That's right.
And you just have to put up with these conflicts and contradictions, you know, and resolve things through that.
But it does show him to be a liberal, I think,
he
rather
was.
than a conservative.
Absolutely, I think so too, very much so. He broke every kind of a mould, didn't he?
Yes,
really, you know?
yes.
And while when we say that he broke every kind of a mould, he went back to moulds. He went back to moulds that were there at an earlier time, you know, and that had been thrown out. This is again the extraordinary thing about him. But
another just anecdote, which again might illustrate some of his philosophy, would be when he was in Trinity. He was very fond of Trinity, you know, where he did the law, and he, I don't know whether he founded it, or he certainly participated in the Wine Appreciation Society.
Yes.
And he, there were people who, like I think Owen Sheehy Skeffington, that's from quite a famous family, who was a rabid atheist, and he was of course a committed Christian. But he said that's what he liked about Trinity, that he could sit sipping wine with somebody of totally opposite views on life.
And there was no conflict.
They were civilized.
They could respect each other's views. Isn't that just such a to be able to do that? You know, Eric, can I just ask you a question, or put something to you? I know that it was a family event that had a seminal effect on Douglas and really changed his life, and that was the death of your brother.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
I think he was 12. My understanding is he was around 12 years of age, and he developed a malignant brain tumour.
That's right. Yeah.
And have you any sense? I don't know what age you were at the time. What your memories of that were, just that time.
Well, oh yeah, yeah. Well, of course, my mother was devastated,
Of course,
and so on. And you, Douglas, as we knew him that stage, used to go in to see my brother.
Yeah.
And so on. But I don't know whether it was a sense of any. But I know for a fact that he always thought he had a vocation, but it was that event that sort of led him back to his vocation, because he was getting on quite well in Trinity at that time, and probably could have had a good career there, but this event sort of really made him question, well, what am I going to spend my life at?
Yeah, what's it all about?
It was a big,
what's it all
very
about?
big thing for him.
Yeah.
He did, of course, go to at about 19. He went to be a priest again.
Yeah.
But he didn't get on too well that time. He was sent by this order over in England. I can't remember the name of the order. They sent him to Rome to study, and he came back after, I don't know, it was 9 months or a year, throwing his soutane into the corner and saying, "These people hate women." So, he nearly lost his vocation. Which again is topical enough in the church to this day.
Absolutely.
And in fact, on that topic, he used to come back when he was in America, maybe Canada, I think he did, and give retreats to nuns. And he told me that the nuns are the only hope that the Vatican Council will ever be implemented.
Yeah. Interesting.
I mean, the men in Ireland, the bishops, are hopeless.
Hopeless, yeah. Some people would say, controversially, that things haven't changed a lot. But anyway, that's another Shinsuke. And Eric, I know that Douglas, apart from that event, which obviously brought him probably closer to the family than he might have been, or maybe that's not the right way to put it, because he was always close to the family. That wasn't something that brought him in. But I mean, he had quite a sense of humour, hadn't he? And and had you a sense of that? Have you any recollections of that?
I was going to ask you to.
Yeah.
Well, wait till I see, can I remember? I was remembering.
He was a great practical joker, wasn't he?
Yes, oh yeah.
He is one that I was told about, and this comes from his brother Ian. I was with William, your cousin, and Ian's son in France, and Ian was talking about Douglas John when he was young and when they were living in London, and Ian talking about women. Ian was very fond of girls at that time, and the girls were very fond of him. They were all strong, tall, able, tolerably good-looking men, I think, the mains, But in any event, John Douglas was a great mimic. That was one of his qualities. Great mimic. In fact, you all are, you included, by the way. But girls used to ring Ian up, and sometimes if Ian wasn't there, Douglas would have answered the phone before Ian got to it, and Douglas would would have a conversation, or if Ian was called away from the phone, as if he was Ian. The conversation would go on, and they would hand the phone back to Ian, and the girl at the other end would have no idea. But that was what, and there was another.
He used to call himself Douglas MacFife.